Okay, so you can see why these units need to be well defined for scientists. Each group is talking about a different scenario, so the language you use is a little different. So scientists, you know, are throughout the world, and they have to come up with a common language to talk about speed. Okay? So today we're looking to define 3 words, starting with distance. Okay? I saw some words for distance as I was going around to some different groups. Back in the corner. Manny, what units did you use for distance?
Meters.
Meters. Okay, front table, what did you use? You had a race car on a track.
Miles.
Miles, thank you. How about this middle table?
Light years.
Light years. Oh my gosh, you're so ready for 8th grade science. Thank you. Last table? Inches. Okay, these are all units of measurement for distance. Okay, but how can we then define distance? What is the same about all of these? What does distance tell you? Yes?
How far it goes.
Okay, it answers the question, how far? Okay? How else can we define direction? So you can say, how far did it go? And you'd say, oh, about 500 miles. Oh, about 100 meters. Okay? For distance tells you how fast? Okay? Distance, How did you know there was movement here? That was your second question. How did you know there was movement at this table?
Because you dropped the penny from the top to the bottom.
Oh, it started at the top of the Empire State Building, and it ended at the bottom. It changed distance. How did you guys know? They had a caterpillar and a leaf.
Because it starts from one end.
Okay, so how can we put that, right? Every group is saying it started here and it ended here, and that's what distance is. How can we write that as a definition? Well, it's about this big. What's between my hands? The distance, right? Is there anything really here? What's a word we could use to describe this? Invisible what?
Speed.
Not yet. Land, right? Distance, but we can't use the word in our definition. It's from here to here.
Distance.
Anybody? Oh, what was that? Space. Yes. The space between where an object starts and what? Okay, you all told me that. There was movement in my picture, and I know because I started here and I ended here. It had to move. The space shuttle started on the Earth, landed on Jupiter. Okay? That gets us started. But we also have to look at time. Time we use different units for. Start us off here. What unit did you use for time? Hours? What else? Seconds? That's 2. I need 2 more. Yes. Minutes? What else? What'd you use? To get to Jupiter?
I used to get to Jupiter. I used years.
Years? Okay. Those are all units of time. Okay, so if distance told us how far, what kind of question does time answer? What kind of question does time answer? Vanessa's checking on her watch. How long? How long? Okay. Take 30 seconds with your table then and talk about how would we define it. We said for distance it's the space between where an object starts and an object ends. What kind of definition could we use for time? 30 seconds, talk it out. 30. Well, but time is just time, right? This is hard to define. It's the amount of time. Okay, well tell me this. Can you see time visually?
No.
You can use a reference like a clock, watch numbers go by, but you can't. So could I use my definition for distance, but make it not about visual? The non-visual space between where an object starts and an object ends, right? I have to look at it. I can count in my head 1 1,000, that's a space, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, okay? The non-visual space between where you start All right. So we have distance and we had time, but none of you in your do now number 3, when I said, well, how fast did it take you to get there, used these units by themselves. When you go to calculate speed, what kinds of units did you use? This car, how fast did the car go?
150
150 what?
miles per hour.
Miles per hour. Well, how about compared to the penny? How fast is your penny?
100 meters per second.
100 meters per second. And one more. What'd you use for the caterpillar?
3 inches per hour.
3 inches per hour. So what do you notice? What's our definition here? How do we calculate speed? What do you need? It's the relationship of the, where'd these come from? I see meters, meters, inches, inches. Oh, the distance to the what?
Speed.
The speed? What's on the bottom? Hour.
Distance.
Oh, so who can say it in their own words? What are we measuring when we measure speed? I see 1 volunteer, 2 volunteers. What are we measuring when we measure speed? Be confident, Genesis. She thinks she knows it. No one back there? Eric, what are we measuring when we measure speed? It's the relationship of
Distance
to the
to the time.
The relationship of the distance to the time. All right. Whew, you made it.